Hello and welcome to the Garden Gate. This is Skud from SkudPaiSho.com. Today I wanted to take a quick look at this quick game of Skud Pai Sho that came about in the current Skud Pai Sho tournament. And this is c0n0li versus Shepherd. And if you wanted to follow along and take a look through this tournament game or any other tournament game, you can head to SkudPaiSho.com, click into the side menu and find tournaments. And this is the Chan and Roun-Jians House Party Tournament, whether it is currently in progress where it will just show up, or after it's completed you can click this to find it. Alright, and this game is in loser's bracket, round 7, c0n0li versus Shepherd. So in this game we will take a look through the game, make a few comments along the way, and then ask the question of how did the guest pull this off, making it such a quick game, being only the 10th move for the win. And what could the host have done to prevent the guest from getting in there so quickly? So let's take a look. So right off the bat, the host forgoes a knotweed and has an extra boat, while the guest has one of each accent tile and plants a red 5 to start things off. And so the guest is going to come in with the red 5, setting up their white 3 harmony nicely, while the host takes the red 5, red 4 opening. So here we had a threat to win by the host, which was stopped by a rock, a threat to win by the guest, which was stopped by a moved block, and then an accent tile, and then finally the win, and it goes pretty quickly with just the 10th move being the win. So let's take a look at what the guest did so well to get in there, and then we will take another look and ask what the host could have done to slow them down. So let's take it again from the top. So with the guest starting with the red 5, they'd take 2 moves to get it right into the middle of the board, being able to prepare for a very nice tight ring around the center, which forms here, while the host is spreading out across the north and south opposite gates, which is very effective but rather sprawling here. So let's take a look at what the guest does here. So the host was able to get a threat to win here with they had moved the red 5 and planted the lotus. But the guest is able to form a threat to win of their own and really lock down the host. And so what the guest did so well in this game is lock down the host from being able to form any new harmonies on the board, therefore getting a harmony bonus to play an accent tile defensively to really thwart what was going on with the guest's setup and potential harmony ring that they were forming. So we can look at the host's tiles. These ones are all in harmony with each other already, so can't be moved into position to form a new harmony. And while the lotus is great for when you want to have a tile out and just be able to get out and start forming harmonies with every move, the rock just locks it down, being so limited in its movement it can't get around it easily. And then this is just such a good block of the lotus. The lotus never ends up moving away throughout the rest of the game. So that does leave the host just having to move to block the potential win here. And so the guest just steps in towards the middle, where on their next turn they would be able to keep going for the win or bring the red 5 to the left to win. So here the host can use an accent tile to block, and they slide it out of the way with a boat. But the guest can simply move over back into pretty similar position and then able to drop the knotweed. And again, the host is in a position where they cannot form any new harmonies on the board, being able to use the rock or another defensive boat, perhaps, in this situation. So that's when the host has nothing else to do but get in the way, and the guest is able to slide that in for the win. So now we can take a look at what the host could have done to slow this down and maybe gain some more momentum of their own. So we'll fast forward through this, and I am going to say one of the big things that could have made a difference in this game is if the host had a knotweed to play right here. So this move, the host moved out the red 5 here and planted the lotus because they wanted to form, get in here and have a threat to win, and have the guest have to deal with that and slow them down. I think they probably missed what a great move that this was going to be, being able to lock them down from forming any new harmonies. So they really needed to block here with their rock, or perhaps the defensive boat play, sliding this tile down, would have been a lot more effective at this point in the game rather than later. But right here, a knotweed over here would have locked the guest down from forming any new harmonies, much like the position that the host got put in by the guest later. Because the white 3 can form harmony up here and also down here, and the knotweed right here would be able to block all of those positions. And then here, when the host uses the boat to slide this out of the way, it is both taking up this space where the guest wants their red 5 to be in, and sliding it diagonally out of the way will really throw a wrench in the plans of the guest here, with really not being able to move that back into position easily with their own boat moving it, or a wheel sliding it around. But being able to move it back here is again just not the it's just a one turn, being slowed down by one turn. And when you play a defensive accent tile, you want to be able to slow down your opponent by at least 2 turns, or hopefully more. So a good example of that was this rock play by the guest. That is very effective against a lotus, because a lotus can't very easily move around something, being so limited in its movement. And again, so it was a case of the rock taken by the host at the beginning of this game instead of a knotweed just turned out to be not very helpful, where the knotweed really would have been in this game. So we can take a look at that winning move again, where the host just didn't have any options forming a harmony ring. So what you want to think about is how to set yourself up to always be able to form a new harmony, and also be on the lookout for, in this case, how the guest was able to lock down the host from forming those new harmonies. So do let me know if you have any other games, whether it's from the tournament or interesting games that you have played. You can send me the links in Discord, and if you're not in Discord, you can join from heading to scudpaisho.com, and you can find the link right in the side menu, along with links to other things. You can check out my Patreon to help keep the Garden Gate going and growing, and so at scudpaisho.com, you can play Skud Pai Sho, any number of other Pai Sho games, and some other interesting games. So do join in. We'll see you there at the Garden Gate.